Hello. What's up, everybody? I think we're streaming here. I'm going to wait for my confirmation on audio before I get too into this. We're at the Ashland Worldwide headquarters today. Hopefully, you guys are doing well. We got a ton of stuff to look at, which is so much. Oh, we're getting a little ad. A ton of cool stuff that we've restocked, some of our most popular items. And that long wallet that's in. Okay, everything seems like it's sounding good. So let me know how things are sounding, if I'm being read loud and clear. Hello and welcome to the Ashland Worldwide headquarters. It's 85 degrees in Chicago today, which is bizarre because a week ago today it was snowing, which is very typical for us here in Chicago. It's like bizarro weather. But hopefully everybody is reading me loud and clear. Thank you guys for showing up. Thanks, Rob. Appreciate that, man. And I think I know why you're here. This wallet and Untouchable. Yeah, this is one of our long wallets. And this is what we're going to look at today. I'm going to try to not disturb the wax too much. This is a wallet that we made for Genuine Horween Products, who knows when, year and a half ago. And they've been sitting on it for a while. They sell these every now and then on their websites. And Nick had this at the tannery today. So when I came to take a look at some stuff with him, he showed me this incredible bloom. And I thought it'd be fun to polish this live on camera here. It's a little risky because I don't know what it's going to look like underneath or how well this will polish up. But we're going to wing it and go for it. Arrow Surfer, it's Dale. What's up, Dale? How you doing, man? So we got this. I got a bunch of brand new back in stock stuff. These are our best-selling Johnny the Foxes that we'll look at. And then check this out. I got a box, and I opened the top, but I haven't really gone through this yet. This is a box for Maverick Leather, and that's something I promised a couple months ago. But for all you leather crafters there, they sent me, it looks like a box of swatch books and probably a letter here. So we can take a quick peek at these, but I wanted to do a detailed video on some of the Maverick offerings, maybe later next month or something. And before we get started, if you have any questions, that's the only reason I do this live, is to hang out and chat with you guys. If we weren't going to do it live, I would just shoot it in 4K and you'd get a better image. But I think it's kind of fun to hang out and experience this together. So I'll do my best to read the comments. But when I get into like one topic, I'm probably going to just stick to that till I'm done with the topic. But feel free to drop in your questions, comments, anything you want, and I'll answer you the best I can. But what do you say we get into this guy, this long wallet? And this has a cool reverse interior. It's like the wax is already like falling off of this. So we'll talk about what this is. Let me flip the camera around before we get to that. What's up, Floyd? Good to see you, man. I need to get my computer screen a little better oriented so I can read what you guys are chatting about. All right, these are the foxes that are back. And these are if you're on our newsletter, you just got a newsletter about this stuff. But these are our best-selling wallets, and hopefully everything is looking good here. Yeah, there we go. These are the wallets that we have a tough time keeping in stock. These are 4 different foxes that are back and available right now. We made a small amount of each of them to get them back in. What's difficult about these, and I wish it would focus, I think it's this canvas. What's difficult about all the Shell Cordovan Johnny the Fox wallets? There we go. Anyways, what's difficult to do, and the reason we can't make a ton of these, is because each piece of Shell Cordovan has a wild range in thickness, and we need a naturally thin piece of leather for the inside of this wallet design. What's up, Marco? It's good to see you, man. But we need a thin leather because there's so many layers of leather. You know, we got these 3 card slots on the left, 3 on the right. There's another little divider piece in the center here. And then, of course, the exterior of the wallet. So there's so many layers of leather. Oop. And I'm just going to drop stuff everywhere. There's so many layers of leather. I don't know what's up with the focus today. Maybe it's this guy. There's so many layers of leather here that it's hard to keep the wallet to like a nice thickness. And a lot of people ask, well, like, why don't you just thin down the leather? And that's sort of the reason that we started the company in the first place, is we make the wallets based on the leather, not the other way around. We're trying to solve the puzzle with the pieces that we have, not trying to create new pieces. And that's because you tend to get a longer lasting, more durable product if you just stick with the inherent thickness of the leather. So check this out. Beautiful piece of natural shell on the outside, and we match this one up with the reverse Color 8 interiors. So you tend to see more black and reverse shell interiors from us, and that's because those colors are more frequently produced by the tannery, and it gives us a chance to actually sort through and pick out some naturally thin pieces of shell. And not every shell, in fact, maybe 10% of the shells have a small section that is thin enough to cut into one of these pattern pieces. So when you talk about something like a rare shell color, even like the natural on the outside here, you're trying to pick a rare thing from another rare thing, and they're just so hard to get. So we do them when we can, but that's just something we can't promise. So this is Color 8 reverse. We have the black reverse here, and I think most people sort of get stunned by this guy. If I can get my focus going here. Seem to be struggling with the focus today. How about that? Get in there, camera. Yeah. So this is the black all reverse. So it doesn't look black at all, right? It's a little bit more green. The reverse sides of the black shell are this range of colors. And that's why I picked this one out to show you. Most times we get this a little bit more forest green, like you can see in the bottom left, and some of the card holders here and here. And then sometimes it gets a little bit more tan, like on this piece here. And this bottom one is the darkest I've ever seen. I don't tend to see them like this very often, but it's really cool looking. Man, I'm having a hard time with focus right now. So on the outside of this guy, it's called all reverse because we have reverse on the outside and then reverse on the inside too. And that looks pretty awesome. And the way that these reverse shell wallets we're in, they get even shinier, a little bit more bright and shiny. They almost start to get more of like a wet look. And I'm just going to manually focus. There we go. All right. Yeah, they tend to get a wet look just with the natural polishing from your pocket. It's pretty sweet. So there's the black reverse, Color 8 reverse. Here's another Color 8 reverse interior to show you on that Johnny the Fox. That is really cool. This one's like a really clean looking Color 8 interior or reverse interior. And we polish these up a bit so you get like a nice little sheen on the reverse side. They kind of have like a mild wet look. So you can see the light reflecting a little bit more, but it's nowhere near as reflective as the regular shell, like on the outside of this. So the normal pieces of shell Cordovan are very much a mirror-like shine, very bright and shiny, and that's what the shells have come to be known for. And it's pretty special. I like this one a lot. I like reverse interiors a lot just because of how they wear in. I find them to be a little bit more easily polished for the reverse sides of the shell. But this next wallet here, this is our most popular wallet. And we just really can't keep these in stock, which is why I'm talking about it today. We made a couple of these 100% Color 8 shell, and they're beautiful. In fact, the team here was laughing at me today. When I come in, I like to look at all the stuff we do. And I picked up these wallets, and I go, man, this is really nice. And they think it's funny that even after all these years, I still just a total dork for a nice piece of leather. So that Color 8 shell on the outside is super nice. Has that an interesting color range from like a darker brown, like this angle. And then if you tilt it, it gets a little bit more red. It's really satisfying to sort of just shift it around like that. But I think the stars of the show on this guy, the way that we're making the 100% Color 8 shell, the interior, this full Color 8 shell interior is so... I wish you could work here to see how hard it is to get the leather for the interior of this wallet. So when we get one, it's like a really exciting moment. And then on this particular wallet style, I thought it was better, or best, I suppose, to do a little hand staining and burnishing of the edges. So we actually take the same color stain and we match a stain to the color 8 shell. And you get this really nice, like, cleaned up look with those stained and burnished edges. I think it's really nice. We also do the same thing on all the tops of the card holders. It's quite a bit more work, but I think it really gives the sense of like what the Cordovan's all about. I just find that this aesthetic with the stained edges on the 100% color 8 shell is a little bit more dressy and a little bit more refined, which is why I think the stained edges are a little bit more appropriate for that, and that's just a stunning wallet. As opposed to something like the natural shell, I think this one's like a little bit more casual, but I love this. I mean, that piece of natural shell is really, really cool. But the reason that you would pick this is not to have sort of like a dressy, more formal styled wallet. I think people picking this up want the patina, and they want something that's going to change a bit over time. So it starts off that light tan, sort of like golden color at some angles, and at other angles it's quite light. And I think what really sets it into the casual realm is that reverse interior. And this is another one of those pieces that, you know, we were able to make some of these, but any of the shell interiors are super tough for us to get. So these are back in stock. I have those 4 options. I don't even know. I don't think I could pick a favorite. I guess if I had to, I think this color 8 shell, 100% shell, is different enough from what we normally do that I like this one, but I also tend to like patina a lot. So I would either go with the natural for patina or even this all reverse. Like the way that these were in are out of control. And the interior on this guy, somebody left a comment in one of our videos that I think is a very reasonable comment. They said, why are you flipping the shell for like the wrong side? That seems dumb. And you know, I've thought about it a bit, and I guess that would be dumb because the shell side is so nice. But I don't think there's anything that exists like this. Like if there was another way to get this look on another leather, I would do that instead. But this seems so unique that I think it's worth flipping around just to make I call them unique treasures. And that's what we're trying to do here, make unique treasures. So I'd probably go with this as a close second. So we got all those. Those are all back in stock. You can find them on our website, but this is probably why you're here, why you clicked the video. The thumbnail is this long wallet here that looks bizarre. And I forgot to bring them over here. I got some polishing cloths, and we'll look at this guy. And before we get to this, I'll skim the chat here, see what you guys are talking about. If you have any questions, again, the only reason I'm doing this live is because I love to hang out and chat. So I wouldn't turn on the camera live if we weren't talking. So I really encourage anybody to leave any question, any comment. I love helping you guys out. And then we'll get into this. The bloom on this long wall is out of control. Mohit, what's up, Mohit? Mohit says, hope all is well. I was wondering if it's possible to make a wallet with different thread colors. For example, red and green stitching on a Fat Herbie. Yeah, we can do different thread colors, but the way that it would work is typically there's 2 sides to the stitch. Like, let's look at one of these. See if I can find a great example. So, like, this is a Giant Fox with the natural shell on the outside. Let's see if we did. Looks like we used the same stitching, but you'd have to envision that you could use one stitch on the top side of the stitch, which is the regular thread side, and then there's a side called the bobbin side. So you could do a different stitch color on this side. That's no problem as long as it's not hand stitched. When you do a hand stitch, you can only do one color, and Matt just hooked me up. Check this out. I haven't looked at this, but this looks like some sort of crazy reverse ultraviolet maybe. Man, that's cool. But this has sort of like lighter, sort of neutral, natural color for stitch. Let's see what's on the inside. On the inside here, it's like that magenta stitching. So yeah, we can totally do different stitching colors, but I don't even know what this is for, but that's really cool. We're making unique treasures. Maybe this is for private stock or something. But that's a good question, Mohit. We could totally mix and match the stitching. That's no problem. Arrow Surfer says, and by the way, good to see you, Dale. Dale says, I want to go for a reverse black shell Tony the Ant. That's a good call. It's going to wear great. I think the only thing better for patina are the raw shells. And the only reason I find the raw shells to be better is because they're just so light in color to start that the dramaticism, if that's a word, it's just a very dramatic patina that accumulates and changes on that light color. But the black reverse and the color 8 reverse get like this sort of wet, glassy look just naturally, which I really enjoy. Jeffrey Joseph says, wow, the black reverse is sick. This one is really cool. I polished up the inside of this guy, and I was really happy with how it gets this, like, you can see where it sort of curves, and then the light hits it. Like, I like to look at this part here as it shifts around. Like, the sheen on this is really, really nice. And it gets sort of a wetter look just naturally. Floyd says, got a couple questions. Love a HBS Apple band if possible. Is that HBS a horsebutt strip? And then second, what do you recommend if I want a shell Apple band but would like it to be thicker than normal? I'd normally recommend a 2-layer strap if you want a thick Apple Watch band. So we could do, 2 layers of this, whatever leather I have in my hand, right? So we could do 2 layers of black reverse. Or we can mix and match a bunch of different things. Some of the stuff that I've liked is when we put like a suede on the side that's going to touch your wrist. And I'll pull out my watch band here. So this is a belt weight Apple Watch band that I use, an English hand Dublin, and it's super chunk thick. And I'm really happy with it. So this is about 9 ounces thick. So if you pick 2 leathers that are about 4 or 5 ounces and stitch them together, you'll get about this thickness. And most of the leathers that we use are around that thickness anyways. So if you want a horsebutt strip Apple Watch band, I really, really like the horsebutt strips a lot. And we can definitely do that. And those are going to wear in great. I would actually do 2 layers of horsebutt strips. I think that'd be a really cool Apple Watch band. Isaiah says you got your belt clip today and I can't wait. Oh, did you order it today? And yeah, I'll show you mine. Here's my, this is my key setup right now. I'm a mess. But I've been using, at first I was using the English hand Dublin belt key clip. And I really, really like this color 8 also. I just wanted to see how the shell wore in, which is why I switched away from the English tan. But I was pretty taken aback by how nice the English tan was looking. And I've got my little my key fob here. And this is a Latigo leather. But I've been really enjoying my Key Buddy. It's one of my favorite things that we've added to our offerings in the last year. And the other thing we've added in the last year is the Capone, which I've got just loaded up with a ton of bucks. But I also really love this Capone. This is what I'm wearing right now. Michael DeGregory, good to see you, man. That's a familiar name. It's good to see you. Thanks for coming to hang out, Michael. And Jason's here, also a familiar name. Good to see you, Jason. Jim Wiles, what's up, Jim? You're here all the time. We're shipping out your anniversary wallets today, and we made you that. The whole video yesterday was basically for your wallets. I didn't want to show your wallet when we put on the personalization, but you're going to be really happy with how that looks. I was really happy with it. Waveland Avenue, must be a Cubs fan, says, hey, Phil, would you use Venetian on the reverse side as well? Love my new bugs. Yes, I would absolutely use Venetian shoe cream on the reverse side of this. I wouldn't do it unless you need it. I tend to not like to do too much of anything on the leather unless I have to. So the long story short here is when you wear a wallet that has a reverse shell interior, like the one you're looking at right now, and you load it up with cards and you put it in your pocket and sit on it, it sort of has this action in your pocket, and you will start to see little scuffs and abrasions accumulate, especially where the raised letters and numbers of your credit cards are. And on the reverse stuff, you can fill it in a little bit easier on the reverse shell as opposed to shell on shell, which is why I like the reverse interiors. When they start to get scuffed like that, you can fill it in with some Venetian cream, and that looks really nice. The Venetian cream I find to be really versatile. It works well in a lot of stuff to give like a neutral shine. It's not super bright. There's not a ton of wax in that product. So if you want something like mirror shine, I don't know if I would suggest Venetian. Having said that, like every piece of shell Cordovan, like this color 8 shell here, this was polished by the tannery with Venetian cream, and it's super shiny. So anyways, I feel like the Venetian works on shell. It works on chrome excel. It works on any leather really well. And I definitely recommend it for reverse interiors. Guillermo says, hey, Phil, any possible 100% shell tall Tonys? Yes. And I actually have some right now. I think we have just email Matt. He might have some extra stuff that we made. So email info@ashlandleather.com. Say you want a shell tall Tony, and he has a few right now to check out. Isaiah says, I ordered the English tan. Could you show it? I could go grab. Hey, hang tight 1 sec. All right, this might not be your exact one. I think we packed most everything we're shipping today, but this is the English Tan Dublin belt clip, and it's awesome. This is I'd probably, if I wasn't doing a wear test on the shell, I'd probably go back to this. I just think it's really, really cool. That's key, buddy. Oh, Andrew England, good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping by to say hi. Appreciate that. All right, let's see. Where are we at here? Richard A. Nice to see you, man, and thanks for the kind words. We love leather here, and total nerds for leather. We'll do a couple more questions here and then get to this crazy bloom piece, which this could backfire on me. It's like tightrope walk here because I don't know what it's going to look like underneath all this wax. David S. says, I got an irregular shell bifold wallet. Do you have that to show me in the video? David, I'm sorry, man. We packed everything before I turned the camera on here. So I can't show you that, but you're going to get it soon. That's the good news. Really like that style inside. Not sure which one you're talking about. Maybe this guy here. Michael DeGregory says the hand glazed reverse interior on Jim's anniversary Capone was gorgeous. Yeah, Jim's wallet turned out really cool. And again, like he had some personalization on there that we did some custom fonts and different words and stuff for them for their anniversary gift. And I thought that was a really sweet touch. I wish I could have shown that, but I didn't want to, get people spied on or whatever. Have you show up to his house and like steal his wallet. And David S., I'm sorry, man. I don't have that right now. I do have, I think we sent you some photos of that. An old friend, do I make custom stuff? We're a little, we're not accepting custom orders right now. We're just like fully booked on custom stuff. But what we can do and what we love to do is to work with people to make semi-custom items. So for example, if you love this long wallet, but you don't want all this white chalkiness to it, we can work together. You can email me and I can help you pick a perfect leather for you. And then we can do different things like different leathers on the interiors. Maybe we mix and match the interior colors. Maybe we mix and match different thread colors. We can put some monogramming on there. Those are the types of custom stuff I like to do right now. We're really booked on like new development, and I don't really like making stuff unless I'm sure it's going to last forever. So that's why I try to lean against making full custom things, because if I haven't had a chance to try it. Matt's Toaster. What's up, Matt? Good to see you, man. Yeah, sorry, David. All right, let's get into this. I need to clean the table off here. We're going to make a huge snowy mess. We're going to make a huge mess. All right, so most people will look at this effect and think it's mold. And this is not mold. This is something that you tend to see on a lot of leathers that are extremely well nourished. So this is not to say like you want every leather to be this way, but leathers that are have gone through a process in the tanning process called hot stuffing tend to have this effect. And what hot stuffing is when you take waxes, oils, and greases and you heat them up. Now these are raw waxes that normally wouldn't be easily tanned into the leather. So they have to apply them with a steam and a bunch of heat. So they melt down the waxes into a blend, and then they pound those waxes into the leather in a process called hot stuffing. And that's done in a big wooden steam heated mill. So the Chrome Excel leather is hot stuffed, as well as the shell Cordovan, which is this piece here, is hot stuffed. And we'll get a better look at this once we get the bloom off of here. But this is actually tumbled verdigris shell Cordovan. It's it should be like a really nice green with like a little bit more texture and figuring. Because it's the tumbled verdigris, we should see it be a little bit broken up, sort of like scaly almost, but not like too sharp of scales. It should have like this interesting pattern to it. But what you're seeing here are those waxes coming back out to the surface, and I tend to see this, and you can see a little bit on the reverse side here too. This little part right here, that's some more of those waxes, and they should come off. A lot of people look at this and go like, "Oh my God, there's mold all over my wallet." But this is really just those waxes coming back out, and I'm of the opinion that this is something you want to see. This is how you know that there's a ton of wax and oils and greases that are tanned into the leather. If you don't see this, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It just might not be a waxy leather. And the interesting story here is this type of look is why shell Cordovan and Chrome Excel leathers were originally marketed as self-polishing. So people would have their shoes and they would sit around and maybe use them, a season later. And they would start to see some of this wax accumulation. And all you do is brush it off. And that's what we're going to do today. And hopefully get like a really cool look on this guy. So this is an effect called bloom. It's waxes coming to the surface. It's not mold. And we're going to try to get rid of it today. There's so much bloom on here that I think we're going to see this table just get covered in wax. So I guess the first thing I'll do is what should I write? Maybe I'll write my name on one side. I've done that before. I guess we'll do it again. So that's just like really, really light pressure onto the leather there. And you can see we've already removed a little bit of the wax. There's so much on here that I think if I went ham on it and just like started polishing it, I think what would happen is you'd see the wax melt back into the leather and it might make it a little dark in certain areas. So I think I'm going to take, just a little piece of canvas here and just try to brush off some of this stuff before we get too deep on it. So like no pressure here, just like trying to get the snow off the off the leather. And again, this is just wax, it's not snow. Yeah, let's try polishing cloth here. I'm trying to not heat it up as much as I am trying to like get it to come off the surface like that. It's sort of rolling up. There we go. There's a lot of wax on here. So I kind of just want to brush it off before I start polishing it, because where you see this wax sort of beat up and start to flake in sections, if I start to apply some friction to polish it, it's going to melt into the leather and probably make a little bit of a dark spot. I mean, you can see the table here. Maybe there's like all this wax on the on the table now. So here's where we're at. I've sort of just shaken off the loose wax. Maybe some of it got polished in there a little bit. But we're gonna take, this is sort of my junky brush. Some people might call this like a wet brush, to try to get some more of that off. Sure looks like there's a lot of darkness on the edge still. Yeah, so I'm pulling up from underneath and I see a lot more wax that I didn't see a moment ago. See how that wax came back out as I pulled up from underneath it? So here's where we're at so far. You're starting to see some of that verdigris color come through. It's like a really nice, like, marble green or something. Like wine bottle green. I don't know how to describe it. It's like a really deep green. Here. I'll try to show you the best I can here. So so as I move my finger underneath here and pull up from underneath, see how that wax is starting to appear? This is what I'm trying to get out. And this might take a little bit to fully get all that polished in. But I thought it'd be fun to show you, what's underneath the bloom. And I'll keep polishing here. Try to do two things at once and read your chat. Eric Olafson, good to see you, dude. Eric says, "Hey Phil, great vids and chats. Looking at that buildup on the exterior of the polish side gives me a reflexive urge to brush." Yeah, right. Yeah, it's pretty white. But we're getting it improved here. Just trying to get some of that wax knocked off and get it onto the table, I guess. All this wax under here. All right. David S. says, "I got a pair of Allen Edmonds shell and had the same thing. Got nervous." Yeah, that I'd really like to see this on footwear, because I don't want to have to add more polish to it. So I find when I see the bloom on any piece of footwear, I'm like excited. So I think that's a good thing to look for. So maybe this is a good place to stop for the moment. And just take another brush into this. But you can really see just like how wet it looks now. It's awesome looking. And again, this is that tumbled verdigris, so it's a really cool green shade. I mean, that's pretty sweet. I'm excited to finish this guy up. J87211G says, "If I buy a wallet from your current stock, how can I have it monogrammed?" We tend to like a monogram on the exterior of a wallet. So on the Johnny the Fox, our default placement is sort of right here. And we can put anything you like on there. The normal options on our website have a stock font that we use. But we can also sort of customize different fonts for you. And we'd be glad to do that. So anything you want to do that's available on the site, we can have it monogrammed with pretty much anything you want. And usually the best way to go about that is to ask my brother Matt. You can email Matt at info@ashlandleather.com, and Matt will guide you. We have a bit of experience with the personalization now, but he'll guide you in a direction of something that will look great. We can even send you like little previews of what it's going to look like. All right. This is looking pretty good. Matt's Toaster says, never have I ever gotten so much enjoyment from watching someone clean and polish leather. Well, I'm glad you enjoy it, man. This still needs a bit of work, to be honest with you. Like I still see a bit more wax that I need to get out of here, which is totally fine. But man, that looks pretty sweet. Like just the before and after there. I'll try to give you a better demo. There's something about that luster in the shell that even after all these years, I still really enjoy, just like how shiny it is. I mean, it's awesome as opposed to the unpolished side here. It's pretty neat, right? I just think that's crazy. Yeah, Jason, this wallet is a property of Genuine Horween Products. And I think he just sold it on their website. I was at the tannery today and he showed me this bloom and it's like, I got to get that on camera. So I told him, look, I'll polish it up for you and then I can bring it back and you can send it. But yeah, this is tumbled verdigris shell Cordovan with a black reverse interior on a long wallet that has been sitting around for at least a year. I think it's been like a year and a half. I tend to see this bloom effect happen with temperature changes. So if it gets kind of cold and then heats back up, like we just had here in Chicago, it was snowing a week ago and now it's 85 degrees. It's like a 50-degree swing. It's almost like that temperature change squeezes the wax out of the leather and brings it back to the surface. And that's what you're seeing here. But yeah, this is a property of Genuine Horween Products. We can make one again if I had the leather, but we don't have any tumble verdigris right now, I don't think. So I'll finish that up later, but it's looking pretty good. Let's see. I'm kind of anxious to get into these swatch books here because I haven't even opened. I guess I opened the box, but haven't looked in there. I've got a bunch of swatches from Maverick Leather. That's pretty cool. So there's my tightrope walk. I wasn't sure how nice it was going to be underneath, but that's the color on this verdigris. It's really, really nice. Well, let's do this. So a couple, I know that we have a lot of people here that are into leather crafting, which is awesome. And I wanted to be a good resource for you guys. And one of the videos I put up, I believe last week, was how you're going to get Horween leather. This is one of the companies that has it in stock. This is Maverick Leather. And I reached out to them a bit ago and I said, my whole goal is to share leather with people. And I haven't read this yet, so maybe I should check to make sure it's not weird. But my whole goal is to share leather with people. And I've been friendly with Maverick for a bunch of years. So I thought it'd be nice for them to send me some of the stuff that they have sitting and ready to go that I'd never seen before. This is all non-Horween stuff. And I think it would be cool for me to give some of my opinions on some of these swatch books, so you can maybe pick up some leather if you're a leather crafter, and I can give you my unbiased opinion. I'm not going to lie about any of that stuff. Let me just skim this before we open it. Okay. So this is a letter from Ryan at Maverick. And Ryan says, here's some swatches that are not Horween leather. He says most of the Horween stuff that they have are revolving. So you're never going to get a consistent Horween product from Maverick, but they do have seconds there. And he sent me this box. So that was really nice of Ryan. I'm not getting anything out of this, which you should know, although I didn't pay for these swatches, but they're not paying me to do this. I'm just doing it because I love leather. And I want to help you guys if you're a crafter. But it also might be interesting just to give a quick skim today. And I think I'm going to do like a deeper review on these swatch books, like once I think about them a bit. But today I thought it'd be fun to just like skim through what they sent. So it looks like we got a book here. of Wickett. So this is from Wickett and Craig. This is their harness leather and a bunch of different colors. And this the first thing I noticed about this Wickett stuff, and it's very much reminds me of Wickett, is just how firm this is. That is super dense, and that's what I like from the Wickett stuff. It's very firm. It's almost like a I don't know if you can hear that here. It's like a board. So it looks like we got some nice Wickett stuff to check out. What's this? Black Sienna Bridle. This is also pretty firm. Has a really nice waxy feel is the first thing I notice. And definitely very grainy. Let's do a little close up here. Super flat and smooth and really, really grainy. It's quite firm. Doesn't have the roundness that I'm used to with the Horween stuff. It's just like very dense and firm, which is cool. It's different. That might be a really cool bag. This one is very mellow. So this is marbled calf. Oxblood marbled calf. I don't see too much like color depth or dramaticism from what I assume is marbled. But there's like little bits of lighter red spots in here. But this is quite a bit more mellow. It's probably because it's also thin. This is very firm. This thing is super firm. But that has like a really waxy surface. This is a really polished in grain. I like this one. French calf. And look how bright and shiny that is. It's quite firm though. I'd imagine this would have kind of a rough break, but we'll get into a more detailed video on that guy later. This is mellow. What's this? Mellow and quite thin. This is brown Italian calf. This reminds me of the Latigo leather from Horween, which I like a lot. It's a little less round in terms of temper than I'm familiar with. It's very, very thin. This might make a good like Johnny the Fox interior. Here's something that I think is just a straight veg. Tooling leather, yeah. That's pretty nice. If you're into veg, if you're into tooling, or if you're into like hand staining your own stuff, this seems pretty good. The grain is really, really flat on here, which is great. Let's see if I can give you a better look. Maybe not. Yeah, maybe I'll save this for a more detailed video. But the grain is super flat on this guy. Again, very firm. I suppose that's the big takeaway from everything I've grabbed so far is like quite firm is the answer. This feels very firm too. This is interesting. You can kind of see that this is more of like a aniline leather here, where there's no like finish applied to it, or this might even be like a naked leather. Just very light staining on this, and you get to see a little bit more of like a color depth, so it's lighter away from the edge. But again, quite firm. It looks like this is very flat grain also, which is interesting. Very compacted. That's firm is the name of the game so far. This seems very round and very oily and very waxy. It's a leather gaucho. Java gaucho. That is really, really rich. Pretty soft. I bet you this would make like a cool jacket. It looks like it's got... I bet you if you tumbled this, it would be really neat. It's starting to get like a little bit more of like a pebbly look. So there's a little bit more texture on this piece here. Here's another really waxy one. This is super, super waxy and oily. Another gaucho. I'm going to skim through these. Another gaucho. I kind of like this gaucho leather. It reminds me of some Horween stuff. You get a little bit of that pull up. And it's quite, that's the other thing I'm noticing is it's not like full pebbly, but you can see some of that delamination patterning going on. Like I feel like this leather wants to be tumbled up and pebbled naturally. Something that would look like this. This is cool. Look how bright and shiny that is. I like these bits of figuring in the leather. Really intense grain character. This reminds me of a shoulder. I wonder if that's what it is. Yeah. Gray Shambler Bison. So the bison stuff tends to be a little bit more pronounced in terms of these textures. This is really cool, and this reminds me of a leather that Horween does called Glazed Whaler, where it's super bright and shiny on the surface, and it's got this like peaks and valleys of texture and color, which I really like that a lot. The glazed shoulder, glazed shrunken. Here's another one. This might be more gaucho. Yeah, that gaucho has that interesting sort of like pebbly texture. This looks nice. Pretty thin. Wrangler horse front. This is Horween stuff. Yeah, this is pretty nice. This is very similar to the Dublin. Here's another shrunken shoulder, it looks like. Saddle. I like this a lot. I really like this shrunken shoulder stuff, the glazed shoulder. And the glazed is referring to like the look of the surface where it kind of looks wet. Here's another, looks like another glazed piece. Black, bison. These are cool. I might pick up some of this from Maverick actually. Here's another, this is another one of those shoulders. That's pretty neat. I was talking to Skip about some of their glazed shoulders. He said that there's not a lot of people interested in it right now, but I really like it. Here's another, what is this? Another gaucho? No. Drum stuffed boar. So this is boar. Okay, we were talking about drum stuffed. That's the hot stuffing I was talking about before. How this leather got this sort of waxy bloom look was because it was hot stuffed. So that's what this is, drum stuffed. That's why this is so rich. And you tend to see a bit of pull up on a lot of that type of stuff, which is really full of wax and oil. That's a really interesting texture and grain appearance on this boar. I haven't seen too much boar in person, but it really does remind me of the pigskin. Like this pattern where there's like little dots every now and then really reminds me of a lot of the pigskin stuff that I've seen. And man, there's a huge box of stuff here. We might have to abbreviate this. Look at all this. So much stuff. This looks like more boar. Look at that texture. That's kind of neat. Very different. Boar. Looks like more boar. This looks like it could be, yeah, more Horween stuff. So the Wrangler is a horse front product that Horween did. It's very much like the Dublin leather, but you can get it thinner. Here's another one from another Horween Wrangler. Another Horween Wrangler, I'm pretty sure. I like this color. So we were talking about, I was talking about Tannery Row in a video last week, and we were talking about the Ink Cavalier that Tannery Row has. This is what the color of Ink Cavalier reminds me of, and I love it. I like this like vibrant dark blue underneath with like a more navy on the surface. If you're into this, I would really recommend the Ink Cavalier Chrome XL that Maverick has in stock, or that Tannery Row has in stock right now. Maverick might have some too. Here's another red one. We got a lot. Another. A bunch of different colors of the Wrangler leather. Horse front Wrangler. This is a cool color. Another one. So those are all Horween things. This feels cool. Black Boomer from SB Foot. This has a nice temper. It's not super soft and it's not super firm. It feels a little bit soft on the surface. It's nice. It's matte, more of like a matte black. Here's a pebbled one. This is probably Horween. Black Essex football print. That's cool. Man. All right, I'm going to have to do a longer video on this. We'll come back to these. But yeah, let me flip the camera back around. I really like leather. Let's see. All right, let's see if the autofocus works here. Hi. All right. Oh, see me on the screen? Let's get rid of that. All right, cool. All right. Man, what do you guys think about the swatches? That's going to be really fun. And I'm really excited to see a bunch of Wickett stuff in person. It's been a while since I've had my hands on some Wickett. So I told them that I would show these swatches. And I also think it'd be fun for me to buy something from them and then make something to tell you about my experience with using a product. So I might pick some of that Wickett stuff. I like those shrunken shoulders. The bison shoulders are really cool. But let's see what you guys are chatting about. All right. And Matt's Toaster, I'm glad that you enjoyed me polishing those. I like everything that I do, and the transformation thing is really fun. There's I'm a dork on Reddit. There's like a power washing subreddit where you can see before and after of like people power washing stuff. It's pretty satisfying. Right. Michael DeGregory, sometimes I just run my finger inside the card holders of my bugs to move the wax around the English hand. Gets a sweet oranges burst and then rub it back in the outside. Yeah, that's a unique thing about the burst effect on the Dublin and the pull-up effect on the Chrome Excel. It's like pretty cool. You can kind of melt the color back into place. You don't have too much time in your hands. It's fun. It's fun. Sometimes I'll sit there with this key thing and I'll just like rub the leather like this. You know, just feeling the shell. Kind of pervy. All right. Is this too bright? Yeah. I keep losing the spot. Dustin Hollis, good to see you. It says usually hit waxed leather goods that do this with a heat gun, then polish. I have a hair dryer over here. What I've experienced with when you have too much wax in like a certain spot and not evenly coated all over the leather, when it pulls up into sections and you use the heat gun, the wax dives in too much and you tend to get these dark spots, which is why I was trying to be really careful to knock off some of the wax before melting the wax back into place. You can get a little bit darker spots. I don't know, whatever you were doing, I'm sure was great too. This just like just too much wax pulled up into certain sections. I was trying to avoid having dark spots. Jason says, that's the great thing about Horween shell, just the polish, and it's amazing. I have a pair of footwear and Ricardo shell, and it never gets that kind of sheen. Bummer. There's different shells in the world. Some of them, I mean, I'm super biased. I find the Horween stuff just to be 10 times better for everything, like the look, the feel, the smell, the temper. I think it's just better. The appearance is, I think it's nicer. And I did a video a little over a year ago now called Leather Appreciation 101, where we went through and compared all the different shells from around the world. You might be interested to check out the Leather Appreciation 101 video. All right. Oh, Jason has a couple belts in Wickett and Craig. They're beasts. Yeah, it's so everything I've seen from Wickett has been pretty dense. That's like what they're known for. And these are very dense. They're like almost a piece of wood. Herman Oak not getting love. There might be some Herman Oak in here. I haven't gone through the whole box yet. I believe Viberg has some footwear in the Gaucho. That's cool. I gotta check that out. I'm a Viberg fan. Hey, Talkeetna's here. Hello. David Gibson, good to see you. Says, all my leather goods come from this company. Understated class. Oh, thanks, man. That's really nice. In Talkeetna, you had an earthquake in Alaska? That's crazy. What do you got? Matt's got some raw shell? You want to show? Here.
The color. No, I gotta go.
You gotta go? All right. Everybody wants to meet Matt, but he doesn't want to meet you.
Email me, I'll meet you virtually.
Yeah.
Visually.
He showed me this. Check this out. This is a raw shell with the measuring thing on it. You might notice that there's no stamp on this. Sometimes we ask them to not stamp the light color shells because the ink comes through the other side. But this has, you can see sort of like where they were shaving and not shaving this in different directions. That's what the line is there. And it's caused this like visual color effect thing. You see how the color changes on what angle you look at it? That's really neat. Pretty cool. Oh, Aaron. Hi, Aaron. Good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping by, saying hi. We have that in my country, Romania. AV Leathers from Romania. It's wild. Wild that you're coming from across the world, man. Wickett and Craig skirting 3 to 4 ounce. That's probably quite firm. I find the firm stuff to be useful, especially if it just doesn't have much stretch, to be useful in a lot of applications. I haven't found like most things to be appropriate for like super firm stuff, but that's just not what we're making. I bet if we did some online bags or something, it'd be really cool to have some super firm stuff. All right, we're finishing up. Matt's Toaster says, I live in California, only have felt an earthquake once. You live in California. You know what? When I lived in California, I was up in Santa Cruz. I only felt an earthquake once also. It just sounded noisy. I didn't really feel it that much. It sounded like a washing machine was the whole house I was in. Oh, people are bidding on some shells? Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think we're number one. We don't sell shell, and number two, I want this. I want to make this into something. Like I might even cut like a wallet back, so you get both sides of it. So that's sort of like how we. That's sort of how we do the private stock stuff. Is we'll come across a piece like this we go, that's different. What can we do to like accentuate the natural character in the leather? So something like those shrunken shoulders, something like this is fun for us, for something like a private stock event, because we can see this and cut those patterns into interesting ways. And then same with this. So like I would cut the full wallet back, like maybe it's centered on this line. Might be kind of cool. You guys are bidding against yourselves for nothing. All right, keep bidding. I don't sell leather. We would get in a lot of trouble if we start selling leather, but we don't do it. And in fact, all the stuff I just showed you from Maverick, I don't sell either, so you have to go to Maverick, I suppose. Although this Wickett swatch book. So this has Wickett's info on it. I'm pretty sure Maverick sells this direct. I wonder if you could buy it direct from Wickett too. I haven't tried to do that in a long time. But I'd imagine if you were going to Wickett direct, it would be you'd have to buy a lot of quantity. But it seems like Maverick has all of these in stock. I would assume that's why they sent me this. So check out Maverick. What I like about Maverick for the Horween, and I use Horween stuff. I like two things. I can order it and have it shipped right away. They have it sitting ready to go. I also like that they buy the seconds from Horween. And I don't have enough like non-Horween experience for seconds, but I can tell you that the seconds that Horween makes are pretty nice. Seems like I got a fly around here somewhere. So I like that I can buy the Horween stuff a little cheaper. We do it for us sometimes. In certain leathers, we'll buy seconds from Horween and cut around the imperfections. It's a little bit more labor and thought in the cutting process, but we save a couple bucks and it's the same product in the end. So that's why I like Maverick. You can have it right away. They have it waiting, and then it's a little cheaper. The challenge that you'd have with Maverick is if you're trying to create a product. Like we have our standard colors, like the English tan, black Dublin, natural chrome excel. If we're trying to make those, like I have to have that leather ready to go all the time. So we actually stock it in our workshop here. Something like that would be kind of challenging for Maverick because they don't stock any of that. So if you're trying to make a product line that has to be a consistent thing, you're probably not going to have the best luck going through them. I think that's where Tannery Row comes more into place, is you can have Tannery Row order you a specific thing, and then they'll have like a product color and product standard for whatever you ordered, and they can reproduce it again. It's more expensive, and it's going to take a little bit of time. So that's where I'm at. We're gonna wrap it up here. Is that crazy reverse UV Herbie? I don't think it's up for grabs. I think Matt you got to email Matt for that one. I don't know why he handed me that other than to show me the stitching. But yeah, hit up info@ashlandleather.com for that. And if you guys have any questions about these swatch books from Maverick, that'll be helpful for me because I'd like to make a lot more detailed video and like do some really good close-ups of the character in each of these leathers, because I know, again, that a lot of people here are leather crafters, and I want you to have some good info. And it's probably cost prohibitive to buy every one of these and try it out. So I think I'll try to help you out and give like my opinion on them and what I think they might be appropriate for. And there seems like there's a lot of different colors and stuff. But hey, thanks for coming to hang out, guys. I tried to get Matt on camera today. You saw that. We're super busy right now, trying to get a lot of wallets made, and I want to have. We'll be doing some more events. We do have some irregular wallets that we're going to try to prep up and have ready within the next week and do another irregular sale. And then I really want to get some private stock stuff made. But before I spend our time doing those things, I want to fulfill everything else that we've committed to. And we've got some people out with family issues right now. So we're a little shorthanded, we're really busy, and couldn't be more thankful. It's a good problem to have. But I appreciate you guys coming to hang out. Hopefully you enjoyed checking out the bloom. And I guess I'll show you this one more time. Like how crazy does that look before we do anything? And now that it's been polished, that's pretty sweet. So hopefully you enjoyed checking this out today. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Have a good one. Okay, bye. Cha-cha. And